Good morning, everybody. I am back on the PCT, and I'm about 2.5 miles outside of Shelter Cove. Just crossed Highway 58, and I'm on my way to Bend, Oregon. About 77 miles. I'm gonna split that up into 2.5, maybe 3 days, and yeah, stay up in Bend. Heard great things about it. Looking forward to taking a zero there and catching up on some rest. Yeah, as you saw in the last video, these past couple weeks been pretty interesting as far as the smoke situation. Had some great views in between it, but man, that stuff wore me out. This is Lower Rosary Lake. Man, it is good to get out early and see this stuff in the morning. Just finished my swim and I am feeling great. That water is really cold and I am very awake now, but yeah, spent about a half an hour swimming and still have not seen any other hikers come up. So it's really cool to have that swim and have the lake all to myself, but it is time to get back to hiking. Coming up on the Maiden Peak Shelter. Let's check it out. This is pretty cool. Well, just saw black bear number 2 and saw one, wow, 4 or 5 days ago, juvenile bear, and this one, full-size adult black bear. And man, they have both been so fast and clearly very afraid of humans. And I've been unable to get out my phone to get a picture or a video, but fingers crossed I'll get some bear footage. But moving on. Good morning, everybody. I'm about half a mile out of Brahma Lake, where I camped last night. Nice little camp, despite the smoke that came in last night. Still some pretty good views. I really enjoyed it. Nice and quiet, and got some good rest. Man, when I got into camp last night, the mosquitoes were really out, so didn't record, just did what I had to do and got inside the tent. And yeah, they're out this morning too. First time I've used bug juice in a while, but there are so many lakes and ponds around here. And there's a lot of comments on gut hooks saying that they were coming, so I knew to expect it. Still don't prefer hiking and camping around mosquitoes, but all good. Had a good day yesterday, a really good day. Took my time and still was able to do a marathon day, little just under 27 miles yesterday, and felt really good. Today, heading to Elk Lake Resort, which is only, well, it's less than 19 miles now that I've started, and get a late lunch and figure out what the rest of the day holds, because tomorrow I will be heading into Bend and take a zero, get my resupply, and get ready to move up, past the trail closure, and then finish out Oregon. Man, that is coming fast. Before I know it, I'll be in my home state of Washington, and have that last 500 miles to knock out. And man, crazy to think about. It's coming up fast, but I'm just enjoying every day. And right now, I'm gonna get back to hiking. There are huckleberries everywhere out here, and I gotta get them before the bears do. Oof, toughest decision of the day. All right, so it's 3:30. Done 20 miles already today. Plenty of daylight left. And I have a very tough decision to make. That way, 1.2 miles is beer and burgers and ice cream at Elk Lake Resort. 30 miles that way is the town of Bend. Now, I could probably total bang that out in less than 12 hours because it's pretty flat, and with the pace I've been able to hold on this terrain. Or I could go down there, get just one beer, burger, and an ice cream cone, and then come back on the trail and do some miles. Getting me closer to Bend, and then have a reasonable day tomorrow. Beer wins. So I am still here at Elk Lake Resort. One turned into two ice cream cones, not beer. And I just decided to stay here. They have hiker spots. And so I'm just gonna set up camp here and get out of here in the morning. So I made it into Bend, and all checked in the hotel, took a shower, so I'm nice and clean, feeling good, and looking forward to seeing what Bend has to offer. I've heard great things about it. So I plan on, over the next day and a half, while I take my zero, to kind of show you around. Well, I am back on the trail after my 0 in Bend and taking some time up there at Timberline. Man, I needed that. Feel rested, feel great. Had some really good food, met some really nice people in Bend. You know, real hiker-friendly town, similar to Ashland. Every time I turned around, there was somebody trying to offer me a ride or help me out in some way, so it was really cool. And yeah, traded in my latest Thermarest, so I'm on my 5th pad right now, and I think I'm done with Thermarest for a while. So I've gone through 2 Uber lights and 2 X lights. X lights were both for valve issues, and the Uber lights are both for lateral seams up by my head, debonding and you know, basically turn into a pillow. So I'm trying the Nemo Tensor. I have not used that, but there's a whole lot of other hikers out here using it, and I've heard really good things. It's a little bit heavier, it's a little bit thicker, it's hopefully more comfortable, but yeah, I'm going to try that out tonight for the first time. So looking forward to that. And then Timberline was really cool to see that historic landmark there, spend some time in there, look around, eat at the buffet, which was pretty good. Not $26 good, but it was pretty good. And also get my photo with the axe, or a replica of the axe from the movie The Shining. So that was really cool. Yeah, now have 49.5 miles from Timberline to get to the border, to get to the Bridge of the Gods and cross into Washington. So today, not sure how much I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Ramona Falls alternate, basically a trail that parallels the PCT. Once I'm done with that, I'll figure it out. But after that, it'll be about a day and a half to get into Cascade Locks, where I will take some time in Portland, have some real life, everyday life business to take care of there. So I'll be there for a few days and then move on up and finish out Washington. I can't believe it's that close, but here in a minute I'll be hitting the 2,100 mile mark. So I'm going to start paying attention and get to hiking. So I just finished crossing the Sandy River. Haven't got my feet wet crossing a river or a stream since the Sierra, so that was pretty cool. It wasn't too bad at all, you know, about knee deep. It was rushing pretty good, moved my feet around some with loose sand on the bottom, but was able to get across pretty easily. Took off my socks and gaiters and took out my insoles, put them in my pack, so my shoes ought to be able to dry out by tomorrow. And I only need to have them for 2 more days before I get my next pair of shoes anyway. There were 6 or 7 day hikers or overnighters or section hikers watching me cross, and I was going to give them a hand coming across, but they chose to stay on the other side of the river and camp there tonight, and they'll just have to cross it in the morning, where it might be a little bit lower, but you know, also might not. Guthook said comments on Guthook said that there's 2 logs about a half a mile up and 1 big log a little bit farther than that. I just didn't feel like adding those additional miles today, but today's been great. It's been a really short day. I didn't start until late. I was just feeling super sluggish after that big buffet at Timberline and all the food that I ate in Bend. So I was moving pretty slow today, but all good. I have about 3/10 of a mile to go until I get to my camp. And it's not even 7 o'clock yet, so I'll have a nice relaxing evening, and I have less than 40 miles left in Washington. So I'll hit that tomorrow, do the majority of them, or those miles tomorrow, and then finish up the following day. Coming up, I have a section of the trail that suffered damage from a really bad storm last year with hundreds and hundreds of fallen trees, supposedly. But maintenance crews or trail crews have been working on that stuff all summer. And last I heard, there's about 20 miles of what is described as a tree obstacle course that I'll be contending with. Not sure if it's late tomorrow or the next day. But either way, ready to go. And I know that trail crews continue to work on that, so hopefully it's a little bit shorter. But whatever I got to do to get to my home state, I will. And all adds to, the journey. But anyway, I'm babbling again. I'm going to move up to camp. And hopefully there won't be a whole bunch of people in there, so I'll be able to kind of talk and show you around because I hear it's a really nice camp. So see you in a minute. So the comments on Gut Hook about this campsite were spot on. This is an awesome little spot, nice and flat. Have water nearby. Just went down and grabbed 4 liters. I'm gonna chug a bunch tonight to get rehydrated after not drinking too much water, or not as much water as I should in Bend. But yeah, I'm gonna try out my new pad tonight. I'm getting ready to cook some dinner here, and I'm gonna call it a night and get some rest. Hopefully my shoes dry by the morning. But I'm gonna hit it, and I will see you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. I am only about 5 minutes out of camp, and just took a turn on the alternate route or different trail to go up to Ramona Falls. Not gonna miss this chance to see what I've heard is really awesome. I think it's about a 1.5 mile trail that parallels the PCT. So I'll be back on the actual trail here in a little bit after I see the falls. Great camp last night. Slept awesome on that new pad. Kind of wish I would have discovered that thing earlier. Man, I was out, only woke up once, and got up, had a quick breakfast, and on the trail. Today is going to be my bigger day of the two. Going to knock out as many miles as I can, so I have a shorter day going into Cascade Locks and crossing the Bridge of the Gods into Washington tomorrow. So I'm going to move on up to the falls, and I look forward to showing it to you. So I'm back on the PCT proper after taking that side trail that brought me to Ramona Falls, and I'm really glad that I did that. How cool was that? Really neat to head up there and see the falls, follow some streams, see all the water that's around there. And I also ran into a southbound hiker, so we took a couple minutes to share information on what each of us will see coming up both ways. Also started to see the results of that big storm that knocked down all those trees last year, and wow, this place got devastated. What I showed you there is just one very small example of what's going on around here, and I know there's plenty more to come. But Over the next 10 miles, I have about 3,000 feet of climbing. So it looks like Oregon is getting me prepped for the big climbs in Washington. All good. It's been an awesome day. It is perfectly clear out, no smoke, and I'm just starting to realize how good I feel now after getting out of that smoke. Sometimes you don't realize how bad you're feeling until you start getting better. And wow, I am feeling great. So I'm gonna get to hiking and get after this climb that I have coming up, and I'll talk to you all in a little bit. Midday update. So man, this has been one of the coolest days I've had in a long time. And just finished climbing out of Lolo Pass. So finished the second and last actually kind of big climb of the day. But so I ran into some trail magic down there. And there's a couple at the bottom at Lolo Pass, feeding hikers, hanging out and talking. And the lady asked me if I had seen a hiker named Sam. And I've seen Sam, 15, 20 times on the trail. Saw him very early, and Sam is 18 and just one of the most positive people I've met out here. Every time I see that guy, he's upbeat, he's happy, and he's taking photos and lots of videos and things, very creative artistically too. So just a cool guy to talk to, and I love running into him. And so I took, the opportunity and said, yeah, I, saw him back in Crater Lake is the last time I'd seen him, and was talking about how positive he is and how he's just really cool to be around and everything. And then the lady had a huge smile on her face, and she's like, hey, can I give you a hug? And I was kind of wondering what was all about that. And it turns out that that's his grandmother and his grandfather out here doing trail magic, taking care of hikers, and they're just waiting for Sam to show up. He's about a day behind me right now, and that was so cool, getting the opportunity to brag about one of the just really cool young people out here that's way ahead of his years, to me, I think anyway, in maturity and just positivity and optimism. Just a cool guy. So man, it was really awesome to run into his grandparents. Their names are Susie and Eric, and here's a picture of them. Man, how cool is that? Also down at the Trail Magic, I ran into a hiker I hadn't seen in a while, Rugrat, and have been hiking around her for probably since around mile 300, and she's the one that actually took the photo of me up at Mirror Hut with the elk horns, and really cool to talk to. When I got back on trail, caught up with her and her dad and talked to them for a little bit before moving out. But it's been a great day. So I'm heading toward the Eagle Creek Trail Junction right now, where I'm going to take an alternate trail that's going to take me to some more views and go through Tunnel Falls, which is a place really excited about hitting out here. And so with that, I think I'm going to keep on hiking and just enjoying this great day. So I just turned on to the Indian Springs Trail. I believe it's mismarked on Gut Hook as the Eagle Creek Trail, which actually is a little bit further down the PCT. Yeah, I just grabbed some water and I'm getting ready to start, actually starting right now, a 2,000 foot drop over the next 2 miles. So things are about to get interesting, but probably not as interesting as earlier. So after I recorded earlier today, I started to go over a whole bunch of the blowdowns and all that, which actually wasn't all that bad. I can tell that the trail crews have been really working hard on that, but the wind picked up really, really strong, and I did not feel like sticking around an area where hundreds of blowdowns occurred because of a windstorm, and all the trees were creaking and popping around me. So I just moved on through that without recording. So tonight will be my last night in Oregon. I'm looking forward to a camp that gets great comments on Guthook. That's about another 4.5, maybe 5 miles from here. But right now I'm going to get to hiking and start paying attention because it's really rocky and it's starting to get steep. And yeah, I'm going to see how my knees feel about me after this. But I will see you all in a little bit. Good morning, everybody. It is just a little bit before 6, and I've been on the move for a little while. You saw I started out with some night ops after leaving camp. Camp last night was interesting to say the least. I won't quite call it chaotic, but people and dogs and everybody all on top of each other. It was interesting, but I did not record last night. Ended up doing a 27-mile day today. Which leaves me a little bit less than 10 miles to get into Cascade Locks, cross the Bridge of the Gods, and go into Washington. Super excited about that, and just as I was welcomed into Oregon, I am being welcomed into Washington with rain. So been getting sprinkled on for about the past 20 minutes, and yeah, so I'm gonna wait just a couple more minutes to get a little bit better light going through the falls, and then I'm really gonna move out to get down to Cascade Locks. Good morning again, everybody. I am here in the town of Stevenson, Washington, and I'll tell you what, it feels great to be back in my home state after crossing the Bridge of the Gods this morning. Had such a warm welcome from Kristen, a fellow Air Force Chief Master Sergeant. My sister, thank you so much for coming out and welcoming me into Washington, and for those 3 trail beers that were absolutely great. I only had one, but I'll have the other 2 later. It was great to meet you, spend some time with you, and to talk with you. That was really special, so thank you so much, Kristen. Wow, it feels just amazing to be across that Bridge of the Gods and in my home state. I think Oregon was a little bit sad that I was leaving because it was raining on me, maybe tears this morning, but Washington, a little bit overcast, which is pretty much the norm, but no rain, so man, it feels great. And here soon, one of my cousins who I have not seen for many years is going to pick me up and bring me up to Portland. So I look forward to catching up with her. And from there, I'll stay in Portland for a few days to take care of some of my everyday life business that I need to tend to, and then hit trail days. And then I'll be back on the trail very soon. And with that, I am going to close out this video. Again, gotta say thanks to everyone for all of your support. To my family, I'm one step closer to being home. Love you, miss you, and I'll see you very soon.